What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to episode 19 of Lyon Live here in Football Manager 2019. Today, it's a jam-packed episode. It's going to be the end of season live com. 5 matches today: Bordeaux, Lille, Marseille, Caen, and Nimes. We do have a shot at the title. It is an outside shot at that. Last episode, of course, we secured ourselves Champions League football, and with that, our budgets were set for the year. We have a modest transfer budget of £19 million, a wage budget of £50,000. I think in reality, I'd expect us to maybe raise a little bit more in the way of spending power through selling players over the summer. But we're not going to get too concerned with that. We might, occasionally peep over just at the transfer market to see who's transfer listed and who might be available. But I think for at least the immediate future, we are going to just be mashing continue and playing plenty of games today. Of course, if you missed any of the recent episodes, do go check them out. We had our youth intake not that long ago. Last episode, we had the Champions League game against Manchester United. And as I said, we're going to be continuing on today. I did just notice that Van Ginkel is available. He used to be so good in FM. He's not particularly great anymore. But hey, might as well get a scout report on him. I like the look of him, and his asking price isn't too crazy. But yes, as I said, it's going to be a bit of a mashing continue job today, I feel like. Obviously, this is concluding, really, the first season here at Lyon Live. I think next episode, episode 20, will be a bit of a look back at the season. We'll obviously start the summer period. In all honesty, with this format, I have no idea how long it's going to take from the end of this season to the start of next. I feel like sometimes with FM, I spend way too long thinking about my next move and my every move. And, I might not be able to afford myself that kind of liberty here this year. Anyway, we're going to get straight into things here. Just looking at a little bit of the news. You can see here we've got a few players carrying the odd injury here and there, and a few players with tired legs. Just a quick look at the league kind of situation. You can see here PSG, top of the league on 90 points with 4 games left. We are 7 points behind them. We take on Bordeaux today, who are 7th. The reality is, if we lose to them today, we're not going to catch PSG. Being realistic, we're going to struggle to catch them unless they monumentally balls things up. But I think second is mathematically confirmed pretty much at this point. I think any point here would guarantee us finish above Monaco, which I feel like for a first season would be a reasonable target hit as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, you can see here, Fekir's carrying a little bit of a knock. Joseph Martinez, of course, out for the rest of the year. With that in mind, we're going to bring in Dejan Jovelic. I know I can't say this guy's name. I'm just going to set him a nickname of Deji. I hope that's acceptable. Or Deja or DJ. I'm going to go with DJ for now. If you have a better idea for a nickname, please let me know it, because that is atrocious and you guys can definitely do better. But yes, DJ might get an appearance or two. In terms of attacking midfielders, we'll play Aouar ahead of Fekir. Fekir, you can see, just carrying an injury. He had a fitness test. He could play if we need him to, so we'll have him on the bench as an option. But I'd rather not rely on him if we can avoid it, I think. Anyway, we've got a bit of an abundance of attacking talent. That's because Trincao is in the starting 11. He is going to come out and Bertrand Traoré is going to come in. So really, with the exception of Fekir missing, and we'll have a bit of a change around, I guess, at fullback, although Marcel can actually come in for Lala. We're pretty much at full strength here. One question I've seen people ask a lot is about Mendy. Why am I not playing Mendy more? There's a few reasons. Firstly, of course, we have Marcel, who, if we just compare the players, I don't think there's a massive difference between them, but I kind of think Marcel is currently the better player. Marcel is an older player at 30, and he also occupies a non-EU player spot. So I have got one eye to the summer to potentially move him on, and so by playing him in the first team, I'm hopefully going to increase the likelihood of us getting a bid in for him. Of course, if we just look at our transfers in, we already have Alberto Moreno coming in at left-back, and he's an incredible left-back. He's taken a wage cut to join us. So the left back position's kind of covered. Mendy will be a fantastic little backup player, but the reality is that at least right now, he's just not the right player, in my opinion, to be starting games. Also, people mentioned about with Gnang on here, the fact that we didn't need more centre-backs. I am inclined to agree. Obviously, we have a lot of centre-backs, and I have signed a lot. But I do feel like for Markovic, for example, I will probably loan him out next year. So actually, we should be okay in the centre-back department. I don't think we're going to be over kind of abundant. That's not a word. But we're not going to be overflowing with centre-backs. There's a few of the younger players who I would like to either loan out or play frequently in the reserve team next year. Anyway, let's just try and get the job done here, shall we, in terms of securing second in the league. As I said, a win here would be great. It would help us continue to pursue PSG. We'd be 4 points behind them with 4 games left, and there would be a sliver of hope that we can maybe make something happen. I feel like the reality, however, as you guys know, is still 4 points behind them with 4 games left. They've lost 2 games all year. We've lost 2 games all year. A few unnecessary draws, the real difference maker between ourselves and PSG. But ultimately, I feel like when we look at our season upon reflection, we've done a really good job across the year. It's just a case of PSG have just had a PSG year. They've been, top notch. We've been very good. We're going to try and obviously keep the pressure on them to the last. If it gets to the last 2 games and we can't do anything, I will probably just start playing all the youth and see what they can do. But at least for now, against Bordeaux, who are 7th in the league, away from home, we're going to go for them. We're going to try and take this game by the scruff of the neck and see what we can do. We did have an okay opportunity there through Bertrand Traore. Unfortunately, he missed the one-on-one. So yeah, today is going to be a slightly longer episode. You're probably looking at the time in the bottom of the video on YouTube thinking, man, this is a longer one. But of course, we've got 5 games to play. It's a bit of an end-of-season special, I guess you could say, before we kind of, review the end of the season next time out. But, well, a draw is not good here, is it? I should also point out, the night I'm recording this is the night before it goes up. I'm recording this at 11 PM right now on a Friday night to go up Saturday morning at 10 for you guys. I want to get this recorded, get it all done, and then get up in the morning for the Formula 1 season starting. So, we'll see how long I'm up for, but I expect a sleep-deprived Sunday episode. Depending on how much sleep I'm able to get over the weekend. I don't know how many of you guys are Formula 1 fans. I imagine not. Maybe there's a fair few of you. Maybe I'm underselling it. But, of course, the Australian Grand Prix has a 6 AM start in England. They've just had a sending off. That is good news because we are not looking particularly threatening in this game at the moment. Their tactical system, they're ditching any width in the wide areas. So we are going to set our wing-backs onto attack, please. Romero also playing at right back for Tete, who was struggling just a little bit for fitness. Of course, we brought Romero in for a fair wad of cash, and he's a very good right back, so I expect him to step up in this kind of game. Just look at the average ratings. Our eyes having an absolute howler. And with time dwindling away a little, I'm going to make a change. I'm going to bring in Terrier for Aouar, and I'm going to bring in DJ for Dembele. And we'll see what we can do. I don't know why I struggle so much with Jovelic's name. I think that's how you actually say it. Please, answers on a postcard. But is that a penalty? Are we going to VAR here? So I'm doing the VAR gesture. Am I the only person who does that? I feel like whenever I hear the word VAR, I get this uncontrollable desire to draw a triangle. Not a triangle. A rectangle with my hands to imitate a TV screen. I've got that Friday feeling. I'm referring to rectangles as triangles. Preschool maths. Is that maths? I don't know. Are shapes maths? I guess they are. They are maths, Jack. What am I talking about? What is happening? This could be one of those episodes where we go off the rails. Yesterday we were talking about pretzels. Today we're talking about triangles and squares. There's 10 minutes left and we've done nothing in this game. What do I do? What do I do? I feel like we've got to stop playing so conservatively. I do think for next year we probably need to come up with a system that we can switch to in games like this where we're not breaking things down. Obviously, we kind of have the overcrowding in midfield kind of away from home tactic. I've not used the fluid counter-attacking system at all this year, so I might swap that out over the summer period for kind of a let's go on the attack kind of system. Something that's not dissimilar to the 4-2-3-1 we play, but the kind of thing we can just switch to at the flick of a button with 25 minutes left, in games where we are wanting the win and we really want to, put the pressure on the other team. Anyway, still time here. Ball whipped in by Marseille, collected by the keeper. It's the 84th minute right now. We need a late goal here. They're a man down. This is a game we need to be winning. Can we maybe make something here? Lucas Romero to Bertrand Traore. We're building it up from deep. Where is the killer pass going to come from? Could it be Traore? He brings it forward. He hits it. Oh my gosh. If that had gone in, I'm on my feet. Unfortunately for us, It's wasteful and it's over the crossbar. But we've got another chance here. Memphis back post. Denea's there. Wins it. Traore. He might be offside. He might be offside. I don't want to celebrate it. Also, is Wallace fit? Wallace might have been fit for this game instead of Denea. It's been ruled out. It's a disaster. I did think he was off, and he is off, to be fair. Can't argue with it. I mean, this has now made this whole episode very anticlimactic, hasn't it? Because we've just drawn against Bordeaux, unless we score here. Denea win that. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I believe the points difference between ourselves and PSG is down to up to 6 points. But there is still a chance, but we do need a bit of a goal difference swing and stuff to go our way. I'm a little bit worried that we're about to have our first team plucked dry in the summer. This could be a really weird summer. I know a lot of people commented earlier on the amount of signings I've made this year. Obviously, a lot of them have been fringe players and kind of very young players for the future. One thing you've got to understand with kind of Lyon as a club, and I guess it's less about them signing players, but they are a selling team. I hate to use that term, but the reality is they are. You look at some of the players who have left Lyon over the years. Lacazette obviously being one of the most obvious examples. We're not going to be able to hold on to all of our players, at least not for the first few seasons. So what I tried to do this year was add some real strength in depth across the board. I mean, when you look at our actual starting 11, it's not that different to the team that started the season. But what we have done is we have just added significant strength in depth kind of across the board in a lot of different positions. Really kind of planting some seeds for the future so that when we perhaps do come to sell on our players, we might not necessarily need to look to dip into the transfer market for a like replacement. You know, we might have one of them already there, you know, ready and raring to go. At least that's the logic behind my transfers that I've done. Whether or not it works out that way remains to be seen. Of course, we've had a bit of bad luck with injury this year, but actually you might have seen in the training report, Marin's been doing really, really good. Where is Marin? I just saw the training report for Marin and now I can't see it again. Is it down here? Am I blind? Am I making it up? Right, let's just go to the training tab. But if we look at the training tab, yeah, you can see a Marin 9.7 rating. He has improved a lot this year. Now, granted, obviously, with his long-term injuries, definitely not kind of first team ready yet. But he's the kind of player who, if we do need to sell Depay on, perhaps not this summer, but next summer, I would be willing to give him a chance to prove his worth. Similar with players like Shadas, for example. Wallace is considering asking a new contract. You've been out for a very long time, my friend, and you've still got 4 years left on your current contract. The good news is he's fit and raring to go in the first team, and with the exception of Joseph Martinez, we've pretty much got our entire team to pick from. We're in a really, really good spot. I'm a happy bunny, even if we did just draw that last game, which, I'll be honest, has hurt my feelings just a little bit. We're set for a record points haul. We're actually tied already with our own record points haul. Does that mean that we've got more points than when Lyon won the league in previous years? Is that the reality of it? Obviously, they won the league a number of times in this period here. Are we aiming for more points than that, or is the game just lying to me? Elian Durand is listed as our hot prospect. I do like this guy a lot at 14. I do really like him a lot. He looks very good, doesn't he? I don't want to blow my own trumpet. He looks pretty blooming good. And Ndombele continuing to improve. That's what I want to see. He's looking like an incredible kind of box-to-box midfielder for us. We now have Lille, who are down in 17th. They are doing shockingly this year. I feel like they're a team who should be significantly higher in the league than where they are. I feel like their media prediction is comfortably top half, and yet they're on the verge of a relegation playoff, potentially. Yeah, you can see here their media prediction of 8th. They've got some good players. I've not really looked at, the young hot prospects for all these teams, but obviously there has been a regen intake. So there is going to be lots of new players to have a look through. Obviously, I have attribute masking turned off, but what I'd normally do is just be scouting all these players. For example, this guy who plays for Nimes. Nimes are rock bottom of the league. So they might even be willing to sell him for reasonably cheap. I mean, reasonably cheap being a loose terminology, I guess. But 3 million for this guy? We'll see what the scout report has to say, but great determination. Very, very good physicals for a player his age. He's only 15. Very good defensive midfielder. He's not the tallest player or the weightiest of players. But he's pretty well-rounded for a player so young. Obviously, we'll just get a scout report on him and see what he could do. He actually looks like he could be a pretty good wing-back, potentially. But obviously, you could just spend time just going through and scouting each and every one of these players, just really building up a knowledge. I noticed that we're getting the prompt here about our scouting range. If we run out of scouting budget, is that what's happened? Have we run out of scouting budget? We haven't. I feel like it was saying the players are out of the scouting budget, out of the scouting range. I guess that's what I get for not actually looking at the message fully. I am still interested in Lenglet. Also, Quintero's available. I really like Quintero in FM. He's pretty good, isn't he, as a playmaker? If you need an attacking midfielder or advanced playmaker, he's your man. Although his mentals are a little bit potato. Right, just looking at things here. The French Cup final between PSG and Marseille is on. So we can win here and close the gap to 3 points. I'm not sure what PSG's fixture congestion's like either. I mean, maybe there is still hope. I want to sell it to you guys. There is still a chance. There is still a chance. They have got a lot of fixtures thick and fast. That could hurt them. I mean, I'm trying to feed the hope. We've got to still win. Obviously, the draw last game is pretty disastrous. Right. Expect nothing from a win, but a win from this game, boys. I've got faith in all of you. I have. Even though, you know, potentially some of you will get replaced in the summer, I've got faith in all of you. We're going with the same team pretty much as last time out. Obviously, Fekir's back in, Wallace is back in. This was selected from my preset of kind of our best starting 11. Obviously, with the exception of Martinez, this is what I consider to be our best team right here and now. I do also really recommend setting up presets, you know, like for, you know, pre-selected teams. It's so useful for quickly, you know, reviewing a squad. You probably saw it between the last game and this game. At the click of a button, I can go, right, this is my best team, or what I think my best team is, who's available, who's not. Wallace, I mean, welcome back to the team. We're rushing you back a little bit with lack of match fitness. But your influence cannot be underestimated. And 3 months out, he scored after 9 minutes. He's loving it. Fekir with the assist, whipped in, and he slide tackles it in. He slide tackles it in. It's one hell of a finish. And it gives us an early lead. I mean, that's what we've been missing. An ounce of quality at the back post. I feel like he's been a very, very good signing for us, Wallace. Between him and Marcelo, they've done great. Obviously, we've signed a lot of centre-backs. Marcelo's an interesting player because he's a very, very good veteran in the team. But he is 32 this month. He's on a fair wad of money and his contract's up in 2 years' time. If the right offer came in, I might be willing to part with him. Same with Marcel, you know, players entering their early 30s. Their experience could still be valuable. But they're on just too much money and I'd rather sell them whilst they're hot because we've got young replacements to come in. And while Dembele should have scored that, a second shot goes out for a throw-in. Actually, it deflected. I forgive him. For a second, I thought he'd kicked it so far wide. Gone for a throw-in. That would have been a tiny, teeny bit embarrassing for him, I feel like. But alas, no, it deflected. We can let him off the hook this time. I mean, half-time, it's 1-0. I'm going to tell the players I'm far from pleased. Like, don't get me wrong. They've had 32% of the ball and done literally nothing. But it's only 1 goal. And that is not concerning necessarily, but it could be better. And I want to see better here. Fekir, what can you do? What a ball that is to Dembele. Lovely, lovely goal. Fekir with a second assist of the game. He's leading the charts for assists in the league. And well, with another 2 today, he's certainly making his case for him to, well, cement that award as his own. Lovely build-up play. Little cheeky give and go by Fekir with Traore. Bit of fortune about the way the ball got to him, but that ball across and the run itself to pull out of position the left centre-back was superb. That is the exact start to the half we wanted. I think we can relax a little bit. A blip to start previously, but now things are starting to go our way. I say this, it's only 2-0. Maybe I shouldn't get too carried away, but Lille really don't look like they're doing a great deal here. Now it's Ndombele trying to spread the ball out wide. Maybe he can go the other way. Fekir wants more assists. Lays it off to Ndombele. Lovely stop by the keeper. I think he was caught a little offsided by the defender in the way. Unfortunately, Ndombele denied. Fekir though, back post. Where's Wallace? There he is. It's like Where's Wally, but with Wallace. Get that in the club shop. Get it in the club shop, just the Where's Wallace album. Can we make that happen? Probably not. Probably that should be a board request. create merchandise product for player. Anyway, for kit. But look, where's Wallace? There he is. There he is. Lays off to Memphis, who misses the open goal. 9 minutes left in this one. I'm going to bring in St. Maximin as well. A player who's not played so much lately. And you know what? Let's go for the triple change in midfield. Terrier, get on the pitch as well. I feel like St. Maximin really hasn't played that much in recent games. I actually want to check that. He's not been the standout performer we were perhaps hoping he would be. It wasn't a small fee we paid for him. If we just look here. I mean, he's valued at 20 million and we paid 10 million. So debatably, we made a good move there. I'll let you guys decide. I feel like any transfer dealing where you bring in a player and their value doubles is probably a good deal. Like, no matter how much they've played or not played, even if the initial outlay is not small. But, well, we've got a win here. 2-0. The subs did not change anything about the game. We closed the gap on PSG to 3 points. I mean, it looks better now, doesn't it, for us? You can look at it that way. Nimes were bottom of the league for ages. I thought they were way lower in the league than they are with that player that we were looking at, the regen. He might not want to talk to us because he's only just appeared for them. Okay, no, he does want to talk to us. Interesting. I mean, obviously, before we ever confirm the signing, we will wait for the full scout report to come in. This is going to be another one of those players where I have to pay him a little bit more than perhaps I'd like to, including his initial wages, and then I'll give him a bit of a rise once he's played 25 games and hope that we can get the 3-year extension in. He's happy with it. I mean, what do we think? Karim Feli. I mean, maybe I'm just signing him for the sake of it. Obviously, we can keep an eye on like the under-19 squad here and see if any, new players get called up. He looks okay. We'll see what the scouts say. By the way, PSG just lost to Marseille. It gives me hope. 87 points is a new team record, apparently. I wonder if we can set the record for the most points of a team who came second. I imagine in Ligue 1 it's actually reasonably high, but it remains to be seen. Aouar's continued to develop, would be seen as a leading player. Yeah, for most Ligue 1 sides. He looks very, very good. He's not performed perhaps as well as his attributes would suggest, which is a bit of a shame. But he's still doing okay. And speaking of okay, that's kind of the scout report on Van Ginkel in a nutshell. He's okay. He's not great. He's not terrible. He's £11 million and he's injury prone. It's not what I want to see. Amiens are going down, which is a bit of a sad time for them. You can see a Konate set to be used in his tight marking role. I like the look of Konate for the future. I think he's a very, very shrewd signing that we've done. Feli is set to join. Let's delay that because I'm not sure if we're definitely going to sign him. We're going to wait and see what our scouts say. Toussaint's development has continued to be solid. I love Toussaint. He's so good. And Dembele, to be fair, has kind of slowly started to find his feet, I feel like. He's not been crazy goal-scoring wise in the league this year. But considering he scored something like 2 goals in the first 13 or 14 matches, if I remember correctly, it's not been too bad a turnaround from him this year, I feel like. Anyway, PSG playing against Tottenham, they have been knocked out, so they've got no more fixture congestion. I was kind of hoping they'd keep going through to, well, make the fixture congestion add up. I mean, it's still pretty brutal on them, to be honest. We'll hope that it can work out in our favour. We have got to play Marseille here, though, our big rivals. And obviously, we want to beat them. But we need to beat them. It's not a case of want. They're in 4th, so it's not going to be easy whatsoever. Man United want to land Traore. I mean, how much do we reckon we can get for Traore in the summer? He's valued at 53 million. I'm going to be honest, 53 million is a hell of a lot for him. I don't think he's a 53 million pound player, but given that fact that that's his value, I mean, I guess when you look at his attributes, he's underwhelming, but then when you actually look at the numbers, you kind of understand why he's been valued that highly. 7.72 average rating this year is nutty. Definitely going to inflate his value. Anyway, Marseille on the horizon here. They're in 4th. This is not a freebie. Our game after this against Caen in 19th, you'd hope would be a freebie. But, well, we need to get something here. Feli has been scouted. He's consistent. I mean, they like his potential and that recommendation's high, but we've not scouted him that much. What do we think, folks? Is he just worth a punt? Do we just say YOLO? £3 million is not the most mental amount of money, and he looks pretty solid already at this age. He's only 15. He does look very good, doesn't he? He does look very, very good. You can see he's already played for their reserve team this year. We'll have to think about that one. Anyway, we've got this game here. We've actually got a few crucial suspensions. Wallace is recommending not to play the whole game, which is interesting. He obviously played the whole of the previous game with no problem. So I'm going to risk him here because without Marcelo in the team, I feel like we need someone. Ndombele suspended is a big, big miss for us. The obvious replacement is Papa Chiak in for him, who I really do rate as a box-to-box midfielder. He's been very solid for us when we've called upon him. More of that again today, please. Alar's been a little hit and miss, but I feel compelled to continue to stick with him. Just looking at St. Maximin here, you can kind of see his minutes. If we look at reports and form, I mean, he's come on off the bench a hell of a lot this year and not had a massive impact. But then when you actually look at the timing that he's come into matches, he's not had, you know, a load of time to really have a massive impact in games. And that's kind of indicated by the average ratings you can see here. Do I want to give him a start today out on the left for Depay? Do I? Depay's not been fantastic, you know. He's not been. It would be overselling him to say he's been great. With that in mind, I think I might drop him for today's game and play St. Maximin. It's weird, like Traore and Depay, more so Traore, like Traore's put in some crazy numbers, but between Traore and Depay, I feel like they're really overvalued. Like, they're valued at in excess of 40 million each. Like, I don't know, if the right offer came in, I might be willing to sell them. It's an interesting situation here at Lyon, because the reality is I'm probably not going to be able to hold on to those players more than a couple of years. Both Depay and Traore have buyback clauses with Manchester United and Chelsea, kind of each of them. Obviously, both of them previous clubs, and this like buyback clauses are pretty tiny compared to their values now. So I'm always going to feel uneasy having them in my team, knowing that at any second they could just be bought out. And obviously, I want to get as much money as possible for them. So, I don't know. As good as they've been as well, I don't feel like they've been super standout, which might seem odd because their average ratings have been so good, but I don't feel like they've been players who have stood out to me as scoring super important goals. Maybe I'm selling them short there. I just think when you think of someone like Wallace, he's really shone every live com. You know, he's always looked very, very good at centre-back. Whereas I've not really got that vibe from anyone really in our midfield besides Fekir. Anyway, not a great start to this game. Marseille looking massively, massively on top. So with that in mind, I'm actually going to change the system early on here. I'm going to go to the 5-man midfield and see what we can do. We're away from home here, so perhaps it was a little naive to go on the attack. But obviously this system works pretty well. I feel like we're showing them a bit of respect here, but I feel like we almost have to. Away from home, they started the game very sharply. And, well, just immediately off to a flyer with their chances. So trying to nullify them. And actually, since we made the tactical changes, we're not really dominating the game as such, but we're very much going toe-to-toe with them, which is what I want to see. We now have a set piece of our own. Fekir to try and get it in. Doesn't beat our Campos at the front post. And it's cleared right the way up the pitch. Tete going back to Lopez. For a second I thought it was going to fly into an open goal. Kind of Kieran Trippier style. But, well, fortunately for us, Lopez in a good position. Can we make something happen here? St. Maximin, we're giving him a bit of a chance today. Throwing him into this kind of game. Could be throwing him into the deep end. But what a run that is and what a goal it is. I mean, sit down. Sit down, Jack. Why has this guy not been playing instead of Depay? I do feel like I've really underrated St. Maximin. He's not had enough starts. You could see that in his last 20 games. He picks up the ball here at the halfway line. I do feel like sometimes in FM, you know, if you don't play a player that much and you bring them in, they want to prove a point. I mean, St. Maximin has just proved a point with that goal. He's heard me talking about the fact Depay might be sold, and he's there thinking, boss, if that opportunity arises, I will take it. And, well, what a finish that was, to be fair. Campos, though, good run. Lopez getting down low to that one. Does well to turn it round the post as well. Payet now to whip in the ball. Back post. Can we get it away? We can. Denea. Loftus-Cheek still with it, though. Gustavo dispossessed. Could we break now? Papaciek. To Dembele, who turns his man. Go on, Dembele. Run like the wind. Does the wind run? If it does, he didn't run like it. And if the wind doesn't run, then he definitely did run like it. Does that make sense? I don't know. Moving on. PSG have scored. We're blocking off the line. Get it out. That'll do. That will do, I think. Yeah, I saw PSG have gone a goal ahead. They're playing Amiens, who, if I'm not mistaken, they're not doing particularly well. So the unfortunate thing here is, whilst we've got this tricky game here that we're winning, thanks to an absolute worldie from Saint-Maximin, PSG's 8 games that close the season aren't particularly difficult ones. I mean, we've just got to try and win every game that we can. It's disappointing we drew against Bordeaux, but a win here would be huge. Marseille are a good side, and while we're on the attack here, Fekir, Bertrand Traoré hits it. Good stop by Mandanda wide. Maybe I'm being a tad harsh on Traoré when I say he's not done a lot. He has scored some very, very good goals and got some nice assists, but I just feel like he's not been a £50 million kind of standout player. Feel free to disagree with me. I'd be curious to know down in the comments. You can go leave this as a comment now. Prove to me that you're watching, like, you know, halfway through the episode. How much would you sell both Depay and Bertrand Traoré for? Bearing in mind, I think Bertrand Traoré has a buyback clause with Chelsea of 27 million, and I think Depay's is 36 million. I'd be very curious to know. Anyway, Lopez has just made another great save. They're all over us. They're creating so many more chances. It's a little bit scary. With that in mind, I'm going to change our fullbacks to be more defensive. Marcel at left-back's been poor. We're going to bring in Mendy. To be honest, our entire midfield's been poor. I'm going to bring in Lucas Romero and Aouar here after 50 minutes. Because we've got a few too many bookings in the centre of the midfield. And with our current tactical system, our centre mids need to put in tackles. So Fekir's coming off, as is Toussaint. We're going to bring in Lucas Romero, Aouar and Mendy at left-back. I'm really hoping this isn't going to backfire spectacularly. Watch it happen now. Watch them score and me not have any changes and then probably go a man down. But sometimes in the big games like this, you've got to make bold and potentially stupid decisions. And when they come off, you look like a genius. When they don't come off, you look like a moron. Let's hope it's the former of those two today. Anyway, they've got the ball here, headed away okayly. Luis Gustavo's a bit of a rock in the midfield, isn't he? He's very, very good defensively, breaking a lot down. Ocampos is through again. He's had so many chances. You feel like he's got to take one eventually. He's not taking that one. We're getting caught out with a very, very high line here that I am not particularly a fan of. And I kind of feel like we should just step off them now and just be compact. Lots of their chances just coming through the middle. So we're going to change things up here. Please don't score whilst I make the changes. Wallace is injured. What? Please get up, Wallace, because I don't have any subs. That's a problem. I mean, that's that thing earlier about, you know, genius or idiot. Yeah, about that. What do we do here? We don't really have a centre-back. That is the concern here, is that we don't really have a centre-back left on the pitch. I think I've got to play Romero as a centre mid on defend, with Aouar playing just as a deep line midfielder on defend, and we're just going to hoof the ball up. Let's not play it out of defence now. Hit early crosses. Just be direct with it. Time waste as much as you blooming can, please, boys. Let's just try and hit them on the counter, you know. Big kicks up to the flanks where we can. Get it to our inside forwards in Saint-Maximin and Traoré and try and build from there. Mentality, we're going to go cautious. We're going to try and hit them on the break. Do I want to play Papacek at centre-back? Not really. What might be a better option, actually, would be to play maybe Tete at centre-back. That kind of works. It's not ideal, but Romero can slot in at right wing-back. Right. We're basically... Well, I was about to say we're basically playing a man down. We literally are playing a man down now for the last 20 minutes. It's going to be a challenge. Although, they could be about to have a red... Okay, well, that makes things... Thank you. Thank you, Marseille player Castagna. He's decided to get sent off, which is great for us. We are completely FMing them at the moment. They've had so many more chances. Maybe Traoré can score here. Mandanda, another stop. To be fair, we have tested Mandanda on a few occasions. The ball not completely clear here either. But, well, it's 10 men versus 10 men. We're going to sit and be quite defensive now. Tete slotting in at centre-back. He's never played there before for us. It's not going to be easy. Payet, set piece. Lopez, lovely stop. Can we stop the rebound? It's offside. It's fine. Everyone relax. It was never in doubt. Kind of. I mean, they've had so many clear-cut chances. 4 clear-cut chances, 2 half chances. Somehow we're a goal ahead. It's 10 aside, of course, with Wallace's injury. I'm hoping that's nothing serious. Of course, we have kind of risked him back to full fitness. I talked about it But with Marcelo out, I feel like it felt like he had to play. Obviously, he played the full game last time out as well. Sakai here whips it in, headed away. Torven, just get it out. And now with Amavi at left back. Inside to Payet. I mean, can we hit them on the counter? St. Maximin, you've shown your value once already with your pace. Show us it again. It's an ambitious ball, but a great ball at that. And Dembele, I mean, it's the perfect smash and grab. We've not been the better team. Frankly, we've been blooming awful. But we've taken 2 half chances that came our way. And St. Maximin has been the hero. So as much as I'm going to look at myself in the mirror and curse myself for the stupid decision to make 3 subs at 50 minutes, I'm also going to praise myself massively for the fact we've brought in St. Maximin and started him for a massive game like this. Would have been easy just to go, you know what, Depay's our star man, let him play. We've booked the trend there. Even if they score now, I think we should be okay. I mean, famous last words. If they score now, it will commence squeaky bum time. Obviously, the Coupe de la Ligue final against Marseille, you might remember it. They did hit the post in like the 93rd minute when we were 3-2 up. So they do have comeback and chance creating potential. You can see, looking at the stats there, PSG gone 3-1 up. So, yeah, we're not going to catch them here, but they've got a midweek game now. Maybe they can slip up there. If they don't, the title's pretty much won with 2 games left. But I feel like we've done okay. I feel like when we look back on this season, we'll look back at the fact that, at least so far, we've only lost 2 games. Which, frankly, is pretty solid. By all accounts. I mean, you can see here, 3 points behind them. It's a good win. Wallace is out for 3 to 4 weeks. I mean, it could be a more serious injury. St. Maximin impressing. That's what I want to hear, my friend. That is what I want to hear. I mean, his rating hasn't been that bad at all, to be fair. I'm kind of tempted just to play the same team again. Man City seek Fekir deal. Obviously, I talked about Traore and Depay. I've not really considered the prospect of selling Fekir. I'd like, really, to keep hold of him in an ideal world, but again, if like, I don't know, if like a I'm trying to think of a value, if a £90 million bid came in, or even like a 70, I probably wouldn't say no. Do you know what I mean? It's a tricky one. I don't want to be a selling club. At the same time, given our kind of transfer budget and the transfer dealings we've done, and I feel like the value for money that we've found in the market, it'd be really difficult not to sell some of these players as good as they've been. And the issue with it is perhaps that it would probably, if we were to sell the 3 players I'm talking about selling, Depay, Bertrand Traore, and Fekir, if we were to sell them, it would undoubtedly set us back next year. I think next year we would take a step back from how well we've done this year. But longer term, I mean, the things we could do with that money, it really depends on who's available as well. I'm going to sign Karim here. I'd be interested to know your thoughts. Would you have signed him? £3 million. Our scouting knowledge on him, I'm going to be honest, it's not perfect. But he looks solid. And I do like the look of him quite a lot. And £3 million isn't the largest sum of money in the world. Cornet is disappointed to miss the Ivory Coast's African Cup of Nations bid. Cornet's just not really played for us. I gave him a few opportunities, maybe not enough, but he didn't really shine. But the reality is, you know, in terms of players down the right-hand side, he's behind Bertrand Traore. I'd probably play St. Maximin over him if we just compare the two. I mean, you can see here, St. Maximin is just a better player in a lot of ways. And then the further back you go, you look at a player like Trincao. If we just compare them, I feel like Trincao just has to play ahead of him. I feel like Trincao has so much potential at 19. I mean, you can just see here the direct comparison. Yes, not quite as quick, but technically, vision-wise, just everything about him, there's a lot to like. Right, can Nice do us a favour and beat PSG? No, is the answer. I think the title's gone, boys. Marin's injured again. Okay, it's not for 3 months this time, so it's a little bit of a let-off. You can see here our reserve team are playing friendlies, and it's actually working. They're getting the fitness up, which is good. I mean, 2 games left of the year. I think we have to accept we are where we are now. Alar's still got 4 years left on his current contract, but he wants a new deal. How much are you wanting? That's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. perhaps more than I'm willing to give. Especially when you've got 4 years left on your current deal. No deal, Noel. I realise people won't know Noel. I'm talking about here, Deal or No Deal. It's an old TV show. I noticed that Lenglet has put in a come sign me please plea, I believe. I think I saw that in the... Was it in the news? Or social feed? I mean, Lenglet is desperate to leave. Do we go back in for him? Do we go back in for him? 9 million is very good. But I don't need more centre-backs. But if I was to sell Marcelo, he would be a quite good addition. And I know someone's like, Jack, you don't need him. And you're kind of right, I don't. I don't want to give you a big pay rise. I don't want to give you a big pay rise. It's not happening anyway. I know. So what I was going to say was, I know people are like, Jack, you don't need more centre-backs. You're correct in the sense that I don't. But I'm looking for value in the market. And one thing I'm wondering is, you know, Kanate could go out on loan to another team in the division next year to get regular first-team football. Markovic could do the same. I feel like they are two players who'd really benefit from first-team football. If we were to loan both of those out, that would leave us with Monty, Marcelo, Wallace and Denea. So we would need another centre-back at that point. So Wallace is out injured. Marcelo's back though, so that's something. In fact, we might as well just do the best selection setup again and then take things from there. I think we'll go Kanate over Monty on the bench for us. It'll be Denea and Marcelo. I believe Lyon's real-life centre-back partnership, if I'm not mistaken. Please correct me. I'm pretty sure it is. I feel like Martinez is a player who we are just going to sell in the summer. We signed him for 6 million. He's now valued at 16 million. I'm hoping that someone's going to ignore the fact that he's been proper potato for us this year in terms of performances. And maybe do something with him. We've promised him that we're not going to sell him, which is a little bit of a problem because I kind of want to sell him now. But we'll wait and see. Traore fails to adapt to get into the channels. Feli's just continued scouting, you can see here. He looks very, very good. I feel like 3 million for him's nothing as well. Investing in the future. I'm on board with it. Right. I'm pretty happy with this team selection to be honest. I'm going to play St. Maximin again actually ahead of Depay. He played so well last time out. I feel like he's worth a nod. And you know what? We'll give Mendy a bit of game time at left back. Do I want to just play... I mean, Cannes are in 19th, you know, and I don't think we're going to win the league. It's very unlikely at this point. You know what? I'm going to give a few of our youngsters a bit more game time. So I'm going to play Terrier up top as a striker to start. And then we'll have Fekir and Dembele on the bench. I know that they're not going to be particularly happy about it, but I don't know. I feel like it's an opportunity for a bit of rotation here. We need to win our 2 remaining games. We need PSG to lose their last 2 games. I don't want to say it's not going to happen, but they've lost 2 games all year. I find it unlikely they're going to lose the next 2. And I feel like even with the rotated bits that we've just done there, yes, we've removed a few key players, we should still very much be in a position here to, well, ultimately just mop the floor of Cannes. I noticed that they're playing their wide men deeper, so we're going to go with the standard change, something that we've done very frequently this year, which is just go a little bit more attacking with our wing-backs. Again, this is something, you know, against teams who play this more kind of sit-back style who are maybe going to be difficult to defend or difficult to attack against. Maybe a more direct attacking style of play to break them down might be a way to go. As I said, thinking about changing our third kind of game plan when it comes to tactical systems to be a little bit more attacking and less conservative possession-based. You know, at home, at games like this, it's great to have a lot of the ball, but we have struggled to create opportunities and break players down or break teams down. So with that in mind, maybe, you know, having a slightly more direct option with wing-backs that have a bit more permission to get forward could be pretty good for us. As Traore has an effort skewed wide. I mean, I admire the ambition to an extent. It's just a shame that the execution really wasn't there. Part of me's like, man, I should put up the little widget so we can see the latest scores in the division. It's not worth it until the final day. I feel like I've been maybe more subdued than you'd like me to be this episode in terms of not trying to big up our title hopes that much. I'll be honest, going into today's episode, I kind of knew we needed a bit of a miracle. I was hoping that PSG, maybe would get through in the Champions League and be distracted by the shiny European lights. Unfortunately, it's not really materialised for us. They've rotated their team. Well, obviously, they got knocked out of Europe and lost in the French Cup final. So with that in mind, they are going to be going all out to ensure they do win the league after a pretty disappointing performance across all the knockout cups they've been involved in. As for us, though, I feel like second place is something we can definitely take some pride in, to be honest. I know that maybe another season, this exact points total wins you the league, to be honest. That is the reality of it. PSG just haven't slipped up. We drew. We didn't even lose more games than I'd like to. There was just games where we didn't break teams down. And again, maybe having a more attacking game plan is a way that we can, kind of look to address that. The transfer window is going to be interesting this summer because I don't know exactly where I want to spend money. I think a lot of it is going to be dictated by what offers we get for players. Obviously, we don't have a massive amount of money to spend anyway, but it is going to depend on if the likes of Depay, Traore, Fekir actually get bids on them. There was a lot of talk about them leaving in January, and it just didn't happen. Nice goal, Ndombele, by the way. What a strike that is. Aouar with an assist. Not the first screamer he's scored this year from outside the box, Ndombele. He's become a bit of a specialist of it, along with Papa Cech. Between them, they've got a pretty good little goal highlight reel, I feel like, going on. Nice finish, though. Keeper had no chance there. That's a good way to start this game against Caen. I mean, at least we're winning, right? We're applying pressure to PSG, saying, hey, you have still got to win every game to finish the season. And it was good actually to see Aouar get the assist on that goal, even if it was a longer range effort that he didn't really play a massive role in. Anyway, ball to the back post. Traore's there. That is a weird ball in. Saint Maximin, another assist for him. That is, good news as far as I'm concerned. Also, Traore, keep scoring. Keep inflating your value for a potential summer move, please. Defensively, I'm going to be honest, you can see why Caen are so low down in the league. I think they're 19th. Right down there at the rock bottom. With defending like that, it's not entirely surprising. They're playing this super defensive style of play and they've conceded 2 goals after half an hour. Mendy's taken a knock and wants to come off. Don't really want to chance it with all the injuries he's had. Konate, first senior goal for him. Aouar with an assist as well. That is a really, really good goal. Actually, Mendy's okay. It's not showing him as having a knock. We'll keep an eye on him to make sure his condition does go back up. I think he's going to be okay. But yeah, Aouar, lovely ball in. And then Konate, first senior goal, if I'm not mistaken. Certainly first goal since he's joined us. Not a bad one for him. Not even half time yet. We're 3-0 up. PSG, they need to lose both their games. They're winning here. It's not happening. I'm officially taking the title hopes off the table, everyone. I'm desperately sorry. They could be about to get a sending off. We're going to VAR for a potential red card, I think. What just happened? I'm very confused. I only thought VR could review game-changing decisions, but apparently that's not the case. Konate, though, second goal of the game for him. This one, I want to say it was all of his own doing. He didn't really take it at the first chance of asking, but it bounced back to him kindly. And if at first you don't succeed, try and try again. I've just realised he's got the number 69 shirt. He's loving it. 4-0. Could we get another before half-time? I mean, a clean sheet would be nice now as they're on the attack. Let's not concede here. Toussaint, hit them on the counter. 10 seconds left of the half. I mean, what can possibly happen? Route 1 to Terrier can happen. Run, Terrier. Chase it like a dog. I mean, what is this highlight? Are they about to score? 8 seconds. I mean, ref, blow the whistle for half-time here. It's hit from range. It's ambitious. Lopez collects it. No nonsense from him. 4-0 up. Caen, I'm going to be honest, I can see why they're so far down the league. We had a lot of these kind of big wins, you might remember, at the start of the year, and we kind of just stopped getting them. I don't know if that was because teams started to respect us more, maybe playing a little bit more conservatively against us, shutting up shop, trying to make themselves hard to break down. But, yeah, it's difficult to commentate on. You can see PSG here, that they've won the league. Can we round of applause to PSG? Because it's 4-0 in their game. I think the game actually showed the 4-0 before the third goal came in. But alas, the title's gone, everyone. We are going to have to settle for second, which I'm still pretty pleased with. Assuming we don't lose this game somehow, or the last game of the year, 2 defeats all year in the league is pretty decent. Domestically, of course, we did get knocked out of one of the cup competitions on penalties, but the other one we won. And Awar gets a goal. I mean, he deserves that goal. He's got so many assists this year. Fair play to him. Or not this year, this game at least. He's going to get man of the match, I imagine, Awar. Again, you know, a bold decision to bring him in for Fekir for this penultimate game of the year. He's come up pretty good for us. He's asked for that new contract. I've told him he's not getting it, and now he's putting in a performance that makes me think, well, maybe I should have offered him a new contract to keep him happy. Mendy's taken a few knocks, apparently. Let's just take him off and play things safe. In terms of the rest of the team, Terrier, come off for DJ. And we'll play Depay just for the closing bit of this game for St. Maximin. Just a chance for, well, maybe Fekir, no, Memphis to get a goal as he scores from a set piece. Right on cue. PSG are winning 7-0 in their game. So we've still got to get 1 or 2 more goals, please, boys, to match them. But what I was about to say is, you know, bringing on Memphis for the last 10 minutes, maybe he can get a goal or 2 to put himself in the shop window. You know, maybe pump up his value just a little bit for us if we do look to sell him on. I don't want to be a selling club, but I do wonder if the right offers come in, especially for the 2 players with buyback clauses. Do I just have to let them go? What kind of players can we maybe get in? Of course, we looked previously a couple of months ago. Jadon Sancho was transfer listed. Unfortunately, he isn't anymore. Maybe he'll become available again in the summer. He's like the ideal kind of player, the player I would have loved to have signed. But yes, PSG, congrats, you're going to win the league. They're likely to break 100 points as well, which is a pretty nutty achievement by them. Kanate, man of the match performance. She was superb in front of goal. Not a talk I thought I'd be giving to our centre-back at the start of the day. So 93 league goals is a record haul for us as well. I mean, 93 goals. That must be pretty close to PSG's total, I imagine. Yeah, you can see it. PSG have got 98. They've conceded a goal less than us. We were really defensively solid to start the year, and we've kind of not kept that up as things have gone on. I think teams have kind of as I said, they started playing more conservatively against us, parking the bus a little bit more, maybe hitting us on the break. But, no, we've done okay this year. Second is a great achievement. I'm very happy with that. The summer's going to be an interesting one because I really don't know what players we're definitely going to be able to keep hold of. It's going to be one of those ones where it's maybe a case of just wait and see. Which I don't really like as an approach, but it's kind of just what we have to do. Depay feels like his attacking movement, additional focus is not providing any results. I'll take him off it to keep him happy. I don't want to have to deal with his ego. Dene is out for 2 to 3 weeks. We are getting a lot of injuries at centre-back, aren't we, here? It's been pretty unfortunate. I'm almost tempted to play the same game that played that previous match. Given how convincing the performance was, it almost feels criminal to drop some of the players. Apparently an easy win is predicted, so we are probably going to bottle it now, because that's how these things work. Our performing well in training is good. I don't feel like I've praised him in a little while. Let's just give him a little appraisal. He's loving it. He is loving it. Dembele is doing still continually good in training. Dembele's got a hell of a lot of potential, as has Ndombele. This is just a team full of youngsters. You know, given the fact we've got players like Aouar, Ndombele, and Dembele, I really don't feel like losing the likes of Fekir and Bertrand Traore would necessarily be the end of the world. Famous last words when we next season finish 4th, but genuinely, I'd feel okay about it. How does Bertrand Traore just compare to Trincao? I'm really curious. I mean, there's no doubt he's better than Trincao, but there's not a massive gulf in quality between them. Different types of players, really. You know, Trincao's a bit of a less kind of traditional winger. He's a lot more technically gifted and kind of creatively gifted as well. Anyway, we've got a few injuries to contend with, but given how we just played that last game, I'm just going to go with the same team again. I don't feel like I should drop the team that just won 6-0. It would be a little bit harsh. So, yeah, we'll give these players another platform to perform on. We'll see what they can do here against Nimes. A team who I feel like struggled for a large part of this season, but have really come good lately. I almost want to check this now to make sure I'm not going crazy. But yeah, I'm pretty sure Their recent form has been very, very... Okay. I'm going crazy and talking out of my anus. Although, am I? Looking at it, they did lose a lot of their games to start the year. They've not actually done that great at all. They've got 11 wins in 37. It's just that lots of teams have drawn a lot this year. If we just look at past positions, I'm curious now. I feel like they were rock bottom. Yeah, they were. They've been rock bottom for a while. They've kind of crept up. Just 11 games ago, they were in the relegation zone. Gives you an idea of how tight it has been at the bottom. It's been a tough competition. To be fair, they've recovered well with what remains of the season to kind of get back into, well, they're not contention for anything, but just kind of avoid a late scare, I think. I didn't actually check the points at the bottom of the table, so it could be like everyone's within 2 points of one another. They've got a set piece here. Savanier hits the woodwork. I actually want to check real quick. Yeah, they are safe. It's all between. It's actually between Nice and Rennes and Lille. I mean, if Nice went into the relegation playoff, that would be huge. That would actually be mental. They've got such a good team. They're predicted to finish kind of top 6, I think. I mean, similar to Lille in a lot of ways, just not a team you'd ever expect to be down there. Anyway, what magic can we do here? That is the real question. Building it from deep. Traore maraudering forward. Slide tackled. Falls to Ndombele. He can hit them. Lays it to Aouar, who might have a go himself. He does have a go. He does hit the back of the net. I mean, who is Fekir? I mean, if Fekir wanted to go, could we just promote Aouar? Probably not. Aouar's not been that impressive. Although in the last 2 games, suddenly he's blossomed. The ugly duckling has become a swan. It's a good goal for us. I'm not sure why I've skipped the highlight there. I kind of wanted to watch it back. I'm sure he'll score again. I've got faith. Traore out wide on the right. Goes to Tete on the overlap. Can he get it in? Blocked away. Second time of asking. Terrier, Ndombele. Have a go, my son. Bangs it. Deflects in. I mean, Tanguy Ndombele is claiming it. I'm not sure he can claim it. I'm going to be completely honest. It took a wicked deflection. He wheels away like he's just scored the winning goal in a World Cup final. It's such a scrappy goal that Nimes just don't get clear. The effort deflects off their centre-back. It's not going in, I don't think, until it deflects. But, I mean, I'm not going to take it away from him, bless him. 2 goals in the space of 2 minutes for us. That, I mean, at this point, I hope that we can now cruise. It's going to be a bit frustrating, though, to win the last 2 games super convincingly. At least that's how it looks like it could play out. As they are on the attack here. I mean, maybe I should stop talking. I was about to say it's going to be frustrating if we win the last 2 games by massive goal margins. But Nimes have pegged us back. 25 minutes, I mean, it's an entertaining end to the season no matter what now for the fans. You know, there might not be anything on the line in terms of league position. But in terms of entertainment factor, at least so far, clinical finishing by both teams means we're in a situation where we've had 3 goals in the first 30 minutes. I have got to think about the transfer business that we could look to do. I do worry that the next few episodes are going to be quite long. I mean, some of you guys probably love that. If you want to see, you know, the super long, rambly stuff with lots of umming and ahhing and pausing and thinking, let me know in the comments. I can make the next episode maybe a slightly longer one. I will say, just on the note of episodes, there won't be one this Monday. I've got a new series starting on Monday with Dr. Benji. So keep an eye out for that. It's a network game. But yeah, we will be on a break after tomorrow's episode. I might even take a day or 2 extra off. I know people probably are used to just the daily Football Manager content and just really love it. But with it being the end of season, it might just be a good chance just to take a day or 2's break. Obviously, we've been bringing this every day. Pretty much an hour-long episode every day as well. So it's quite a big commitment from me. Sometimes it's good just to have, you know, a little off-season break. You guys know how it is. It's like real life. Lopez, not the most convincing of saves. I realise that whilst I've been rambling on, they have just scored to make it 2-2. It's hard for me to react because it really changes absolutely nothing as far as our season goes. I mean, it's just disappointing from the perspective of we could be doing better. Terrier's not played that great, has he? He won European Golden Boy. And it kind of all went to his head. I'm going to try him out on the left-hand side. I'm also going to bring in Dembele up front. I mean, Terrier's another player who, if the right offer came in, I might sell him. What's his value at? I mean, he has got a lot of potential, allegedly. But he has been just shocking. Like, really shocking. If we just look at his form. I mean, the average ratings. Granted, he's just not started that many since Dembele, came back from injury. Obviously, not Dembele, sorry, Memphis came back from injury. Memphis has been injured. Was it when he was injured? Like, we had players just step up. I do wonder if we just sold Memphis and didn't sign anyone. Would Terrier and St. Maxim in between them, would one of them be able to find the form to fill the void? We're consulting VAR. I can tell from here this was outside the box. I'm still doing the VAR symbol kind of with my hand in the air in front of me. It's a habit. I can't stop it. This is outside the box. I know it's outside the box. I will forfeit the VAR. Let's just speed up the game, please. This is the bit where it's now given as a penalty. No, it's a free kick. I knew it was a free kick. It was close, but no cigar. Not this time. Anyway, 51 minutes gone. It's 2-2 here. We have brought on Dembele. We have put Terrier out on the left-hand side. Mendy cuts inside, tucks it away. I mean, Moraine who is the question. Because we have got Moreno coming in the summer at left-back. I need to try and sell Marcel. If I don't get any offers from Marcel, I don't want to say we'll move on Mendy, but I might look at the possibility of it. But no, Marcel takes up a non-EU player spot. Mendy has a lot of potential. I know for a lot of you guys, I've seen people tweet me about their Mendy and their Lyon save and tell me, Jack, why aren't you playing him? You have to understand that every save is different. And in this save, he was out for 3 months. And he's not as good as Marcel, and I've got Moreno coming in. It's just one of those things. But that's not to say he can't still come good. You do get late bloomers. But I'm not just going to put him in the team because he's been good in someone else's save. I feel like if you look at the realities of, the current situation, I want to play Marcel more than Mendy for the first team football so that we have a better chance of selling him on come the summer. And equally, Mendy's not, kicking up a massive fuss about being back up. And next year, we've got Moreno coming in who is going to replace him. Whatever you think of the two players' ability in real life, the harsh reality is that in Football Manager terms, Moreno's pretty blooming good. And as a result, I want to make the most of him. Anyway, 15 minutes left in this game. We're 3-2 up. We've got a chance here. Aouar crosses it in. It's gone to Kanate. It's a third goal in 2 games for him. He's loving it. Aouar with another assist. Let's bring in Depay for Terrier. And with our last change, we will take off Toussaint and we'll play Lucas Romero just to get him a little bit more game time. But it's another back post cross. It's another header for Kanate. He's loving it. He's getting on the score sheet a lot. I mean, maybe I shouldn't load him out. Maybe I should just sell on Marcelo and play Kanate. Maybe that's the move to do. Anyway, whatever way you look at it here, we're going to end the season on a high. The fact we've lost 2 games all year and got as many points as we have is kind of mad. I mean, we've lost 2 games all year we've lost in the league. And we lost 1 game against a French opposition in the Cup on penalties. Besides that, it's been such a good season. It's a shame that for the crazy points, though, 96 points is a mental total. The title, unfortunately, is not going to come our way. Ndombele, a 9.0 rating that game for him. 2 assists as well. He kind of went under the radar. Good performance, my friend. I mean, when you look at this season on reflection, it's been a pretty blooming good year. It's just a shame that when we look at some of the draws, especially those if we just look at it in the league, you can't help but feel like some of them were just avoidable, And Angers away from home. I mean, look at it. They're all away. At home, we won every single game. I didn't even realise that. But you can see we just struggled to break down a lot of teams, just not scoring a great deal. I did not realise how good our home form had been this year. Jesus, what's it like in all competitions? That's now what I'm wondering. We lost against Juventus at home, and that was the only defeat we had all year at home. And that was that 93rd minute goal. That is nutty. I didn't even realise that that was the trend. And the thing is, the games away from home, in the league at least, obviously, some of the games we play away from home, in the Europe, it doesn't matter what we play. But just a lot of it's our away form that's let us down. But a lot of these are just teams who are shutting up shop and we're just not breaking them down. At least that's how it looks. If we just look. Rennes, we absolutely dominated but couldn't find a breakthrough. Bordeaux, that was a more 50-50 game to be fair, but we probably had the better of the chances. Angers, again, better of the chances, just didn't quite take them. I mean, it's hard to stomach in a lot of ways. It kind of feels like another year, a bit more luck. I mean, again, Monaco, they didn't have a single clear-cut chance, and it's 2-2. the reality is, on another season, these draws are all wins. And I know, obviously, it goes both ways. There's games that we won that we would have lost and drawn. But, I don't know. It's tough. At the same time, though, our home form, I mean, that is pretty nutty. When you look at all competitions, at least in terms of domestically, literally didn't lose at home all year against French opposition. And when you look at all competitions, draws against Atleti and United, it's pretty good. Okay, I can look at those results and just mull over them. The reality is we've come second. There is room for improvement next year, and of course there's going to be another season here at Lyon. You didn't think I was just going to end this series here. Record low number of defeats in a year, 2. Yeah, that's about right. I'd be curious, if you've been doing a season in France in Football Manager, how many points did you need to win the league? Would my points haul have been enough? Am I overreacting? I feel like in Premier League terms, which obviously is another 38-game season, 96 points would be like just unheard of to come second with. Obviously, I want to say the French League isn't as competitive. I know that's going to maybe rustle a few feathers. I don't mean that in an offensive way. I just feel like it is. You know, it's probably more likely that Monaco and PSG in the past have run away with things a little bit more. Anyway, meeting with the players, I could tell them that I want us to win the league. I'm going to tell them that we want Champions League football. And that's what they're happy with. I feel like, I don't want to say we're a season or two away from winning the league, but I feel like I don't want to upset them too much by setting the goals too high. I think the reality is that if we could get second again next year and at least develop some younger players, I'd probably be fairly happy with that. It's going to be an interesting summer in terms of potentially selling players. I'd be curious to know what kind of players you might look to move on. And of course, next episode we will begin, I guess, the process of working out what we want to do over the summer. And we don't have a massive amount of transfer budget, to be honest. If I do want to make moves, it's probably going to come at the cost of moving players around. But no, I'd be interested to know your thoughts and opinions on the season, and of course what you think I should do in the transfer market, and maybe what I should be aiming for next year. I mean, to be honest, the team is in a very good spot. It's very much going to come down to replacing any players who have offers I can't reject come in for them. But that's my problem to worry about tomorrow. We're going to wrap things up here, I think. I will say thank you if you've watched until this point. Another longer episode today, 1 hour and 7 minutes. If you have enjoyed today's video, please do drop a like on it. Again, thank you for your support on this series, and I will see you guys again tomorrow. It is me, Jack, and well, I will talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.